What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Kevin here, coming at you from the Crazy iPod Reviewer YouTube channel with my full review of the new ASUS ZenWatch 2. Is this Android Wear smartwatch worth buying? Sit back and relax to find out. First, I want to mention that the ZenWatch 2 comes in two sizes and three unique configurations. The one that is featured in this video is the 49mm gunmetal edition. The watch is also available in a 49mm silver tape and a smaller 45mm silver khaki. The watch can easily be customized as the bands are removable, and most notably, this smartwatch comes in at a price that is about half of its rivals. The 49mm comes in at $149.99 and the 45mm comes in at $129.99. So there are certainly a few compromises that come along with getting a watch at this cheaper price tag. The ZenWatch 2 lacks a heart rate sensor, and it also lacks the circular display that is popular in some of the other more expensive smartwatches, such as the Moto 360 and the Samsung Gear 2. The compromises, however, are fairly limited, and overall, you get a lot for the money with this watch. First, the build quality is very impressive. It contains a beautiful and vibrant display at 320 by 320, with a pixel per inch rating of 277. This is superior to most tablets and just a step below today's flagship smartphones. The resolution is superior to that of the Moto 360, and the display comes in at 1.63 inches. This display size is of course minuscule compared to my 5.5-inch iPhone 6 Plus, but considering that it's on my wrist, I probably wouldn't want it to be much larger. The display features impressive brightness and contrast, and the device contains 24 pre-installed beautiful watch faces, and you also have the ability to download even more. The software experience that comes along with the ASUS ZenWatch 2 is of course way different from the Apple Watch, but I will say that it really isn't very feature-packed when connected to my iPhone. This watch features the new Android Wear 1.3, which features iOS compatibility, which is new, and it's good to see that Google is supporting Apple's mobile operating system, as it does have a very large market share, especially in the United States. The device is powered by a Qualcomm Snapdragon 400 processor, which is quite a bit of power for this small wearable. It features half a gigabyte of RAM and 4 gigabytes of storage. Android Wear still is an infant operating system in my opinion, and this is pretty obvious while using it, as there are still some occasional lags. Voice commands and motion gestures seem to work inconsistently as well, and that can be frustrating at times, as those and the touch input are really the only methods of input. But I'll tell you what is most annoying with this smartwatch is that it is constantly disconnecting with my iPhone. I've seen the same issue come up in other reviews, and I really just cannot believe that ASUS has not issued a fix, as this has really been extremely frustrating. It just seems ludicrous that the watch keeps disconnecting with my phone, as really if it's not connected, it is fairly useless. The only thing that takes this watch from being a dumb watch that tells the time to a smartwatch is that Bluetooth connection, and when that's not working, the watch isn't very smart. Another negative as an iOS user is that ASUS has a variety of companion apps available that complement this device. Those apps allow you to do things such as managing your personal wellness, and you can even use the watch as a viewfinder for your phone. The only problem is that all of those features and applications are limited to Android smartphones and are nowhere to be found in the iTunes App Store. So with the absence of those companion applications on the iTunes App Store, pairing the ZenWatch 2 with an iOS device essentially cuts the list of features in half. And it really doesn't have to be this way. It's just that ASUS has simply opted out of making iOS versions of their ZenWatch companion apps. I just really don't understand the logic behind this, as there are so many iOS users, and I'm sure that a decent chunk, if not maybe the majority of buyers for this smartwatch, will be using iOS. The watch itself is well built and contains an IP67 Water Resistance, so you do not need to worry about getting it wet. The 49mm edition has a 400 mAh battery, which has lasted me well over 1 day with moderate usage. It is also very easy to charge, as it comes with a magnetic charger. It is also worth noting that the smaller 45mm edition comes with a 300 mAh battery, so essentially you're gonna get roughly 25% less battery life, although it's a smaller watch, so you might get a little more than that. In conclusion, I think that this is a decent smartwatch for the price. I do not think that there is much to gain, at least functionality wise, by buying one one of its more expensive Android Wear competitors. This watch is stylish and has great build quality. What is probably the most disappointing is really how few features there are when pairing it with a iOS device. I am confident, however, that more features will be available with software updates. The Android Wear platform as a whole is still very young, and I think as time goes on, it's going to mature. The ZenWatch 2 is really one of those second generation Android Wear devices, however, and you'd think that after getting to the second generation, and pretty much a year after the platform was released, that they would get rid of some of those glitches such as the Bluetooth connection problems and the somewhat laggy feeling. I am fairly confident, however, that the software experience will get better in the near future with updates. I will say personally that I am kind of biased against smartwatches. I've never been a watch user myself, and it's hard to get myself motivated to wear something like this or even an Apple Watch on a daily basis. I think this smartwatch and really most others are probably best for people who have already been wearing watches for several years now but want something more advanced. I really do think there's a lot to like though about this smartwatch from ASUS, and it just looks stylish. It looks like something that if I was going to go out for the night or I wanted to impress somebody with a nice timepiece, that this would get the job done. I think it's just good to see such a wonderful and stylish watch coming in at such a low price. For the $150 price tag of this watch, I would have expected something that was pure plastic, not something with a stylish gunmetal. So I really hope this review is useful to you, and if you have any more questions at all, please feel free to leave them in the comments section, and also you're always welcome to send me an email at crazyiPodReviewer@AOL.com. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you are interested in purchasing this smartwatch, I have provided a link in the video description to it on Amazon. And then finally, the best way for you to show your support is to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I just recently, or actually about to hit 11,000 subscribers, and it's just a huge landmark for me, and I really just want to keep this momentum going so that I can have some really great products on this channel in the future as I have in the past. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. I really hope you have a great day, and I will see you in the next video. Take care everyone. Bye.